Okay, this is going to be my first mainly fan video, if that makes sense, like, because I'm a Broncos fan. So, this is going to be a video about our quarterback situation, because we have a very interesting quarterback situation this off season. So, I'll kind of explain it. And if you haven't seen any of my football videos, you probably wouldn't know I'm a Broncos fan, but I probably mentioned it. I'm kind of like King of the Fourth Quarter. I mentioned that I'm a Broncos fan just about in any football video that has anything Broncos cards, or I'll mention anything LSU cards since I'm an LSU football fan and LSU basketball fan. So if you've seen any of the football videos or anything, you know I'm a Broncos and LSU fan. So we'll start by showing this Jerry Jeudy origins, and he's one of the reasons why we have an interesting quarterback situation. I honestly feel like Denver has one of the better teams to be like a not even considered playoff team, if that makes sense. Because our wide receiver core, I know it wasn't completely healthy this year, but Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and KJ Hamler next year will be a great big three. And if we get Justin Simmons back and get a few of our other good defensive players back, our defense will be really good too. And depending on what we do in the draft, we could have a really good roster. Because our offensive line has improved a lot, but I know a bunch of people act like we have other issues, but I feel like our biggest issue is quarterback. So I want to get this out the way right now and talk about this guy. I feel like Drew Lock he's a really interesting player. I like Drew, but he's just not like the perfect quarterback for the Denver Broncos. So the issue is, I feel like Drew Lock could be a really good NFL quarterback. But to win in the NFL, you either have to have an all-around great roster or a really great quarterback. And I feel like Drew Lock, maybe at his best, is like a top 15 quarterback in the league. And that's at his very best. And you can't be expecting him to play at his very best. So I feel like if based off last season, I would have said Lock is the guy. But he's just regressed this season. So there's a couple guys I would take over Drew Lock, but this is all of our quarterback options for this season, and I'll go over who and why. So first, the NFL free agents, or like easier guys to trade. Dak Prescott. If Dak is available, get Dak. He's a free agent. I think Dallas is going to end up getting him back, but if Denver can get Dak Prescott at any way, I would get him. So this will be, if you can see, this is the pile for guys that I would like to get, and this is the pile for guys I would just not get. So Dak, and this will be the neutral pile. And the whole reason why I feel like Denver should be better at quarterback is because they've got awesome weapons. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler at the wide receiver, Noah Fant at the tight end. They've got a bunch of other like good young tight ends, but aren't like anything really crazy. But Fant is really good. They've got Melvin Gordon, and Philip Lindsay might come back, but I like Gordon better anyway, so I'm fine if Lindsay walks. So next, the free agent quarterbacks are guys that are kind of likely to get cut. Minshew, I don't know if Minshew's actually a free agent this offseason, but everybody knows that they're getting a quarterback. So, if we get Minshew, it'll be fine. I don't think he'll be absurdly better than Drew Lock, but I don't feel like he'll be much worse. So if we get Gardner Minshew, it'll be fine. So I'll put him in the neutral. Then we've got two quarterbacks from the same draft class who went 1 and 2 that will either be free agents or will probably get cut for salary reasons. Mariota and Winston, they're in the neutral. I feel like they'd probably still even start Drew Lock over both of them. I like both of them, but I don't really think they're that big of an improvement. Okay, next we've got Sam Darnold. Because I believe, so if you didn't see the NFL mock draft, I said I think the Jets are going to draft Justin Fields or the BYU quarterback. Honestly, I don't think Sam Darnold is much better than Drew Lock. So if you go to trade for him, don't get him. I forgot to add Dwayne Haskins to this video, but Dwayne Haskins, similar situation. If I'd put him in the neutral just because he's a free agent, but I don't feel like Dwayne Haskins is anything crazy. I'd just rather have Drew Lock over Haskins because Haskins kind of seems like a locker room issue. But Darnold, I mentioned I like Darnold a little, but I wouldn't trade much to anything significant for him because I don't think he's going to be much better than Drew Lock. Okay, next up we've got the two Eagles quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. So if Jalen Hurts is available, I put him in the great stack. If Wentz is available, he's like somewhere in between the neutral and medium. Because Wentz, he has potential. But I honestly think the Eagles are going to keep him anyways, because I think that's the whole reason about Doug Peterson. So that's why I'm not even worried about Wentz. But if they decide to stick with Wentz, Denver needs to try to get Jalen Hurts. And next up is if the Watson to Miami rumors. I don't know if Miami drafts a quarterback or whatever, Denver should also try to get Tua. So if depending on what the Eagles or Dolphins do, if Tua or Jalen Hurts is available, Denver should try to get one of them. I don't believe this guy's a free agent this offseason, but if Denver can get Aaron Rodgers, they better do it. Because the awesome thing about Rodgers would be, Rodgers could literally start over Lock, and then by the time Rodgers has retired or whatever, we would have known about Drew Lock by then. And Rodgers is a great, great quarterback. I mean, you can tell, literally says on the top of this card, MVPs, and that's what he is. He should be MVP this year. So Drew Lock would definitely should definitely go for if you can get him stacked. Next, we got Jimmy G. Jimmy G's just okay. I feel like he's overpaid now. So I feel like the Patriots will end up getting Jimmy G, so I'll put him there. Next up, we got Matty Ice. Matty Ice can be really good. 49ers maybe should try to get him, honestly, if they're like selling on him real cheap. Because Kyle Shanahan, or whichever Shanahan brother it is that is the head coach of there, made him look like an MVP. I mean, he was the MVP that year that they went to the Super Bowl. So, but for Denver, no, overpaid, not worth it. Next, we've got the two guys that would be probably, well, actually, I would rather have Rodgers over this guy, over Matthew Stafford. I like Stafford. He's really good. I think he's really underrated, but I would rather just get a younger guy. But the only reason why Rodgers I know is older than Stafford, but Rodgers is like the MVP level players. I don't think Matt Stafford would be an MVP in Denver, but Rodgers still has like MVP potential. Because I think he should be MVP this year. Next up, I kind of already mentioned this in one video, but Deshaun Watson. If you can get Deshaun, trade the farm for, or the whole, whatever it takes. The only players I wouldn't want to trade are Judy, Sutton, and if we get Simmons back, Simmons. And any like really good young offensive line players like Garrett Bowles and maybe Noah Fant. But any other player, trade them. Because Deshaun Watson would bring Denver to a whole nother level. I feel like he could bring any other team. And that's the only reason why Houston even won the few games they did. If it wasn't for Watson and J.J. Watt, Houston would have been the worst team in the NFL. And they don't even have their draft pick this year. So these are the guys I would really like Denver to get. Deshaun Watson, Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. The neutral guys, these would be the guys I wouldn't really care. Mariota, Winston, Minshew, and you can throw Dwayne Haskins in here. Then the guys I would not want Denver to get: Matt Ryan, Jimmy G, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold. So I feel like with Denver's weapons and defense, we should be a better team than we are. So maybe give Drew Lock another year. But if you can get one of these guys, Watson, Stafford, Rodgers, Tua, Jalen Hurts, or Dak, get one of them. Well, if you like this video, like, comment. And if there's any other NFL teams you want me to talk about, I'll talk about them as far as I know about them. But I know a little bit more about Denver since I'm a Denver fan. But if you like, there's one other thing I forgot to mention. And I'm not saying they're going to trade for Jordan Love. That's not what I'm saying right here. This is more of just a draft a guy. The guys I would like Denver to, if Denver keeps their pick, the guys I would be fine with Denver drafting is one of the top 5 quarterbacks out of either, who are the top 5? Justin Fields, if he falls. BYU, Zach Wilson. I don't think there's a chance Trevor Lawrence falls to Denver unless he gets hurt or something, like randomly. But if that happens, I don't even know if Denver would take him. Or, who's the one I had Denver taking in my mock draft? Trey Lance. If Trey Lance is available, and Mac Jones, they better not take Kyle Trask. We already saw what happened the last time we took a Florida quarterback. I mean, I guess what's-his-face kind of worked for a little bit. Tim Tebow. But if one of those top 5 quarterbacks are available, I would be fine with it. But if not, don't waste a pick on Trask. So that's who I would like Denver to get. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. And if you want me to talk about any other NFL teams, comment. And like if you want me to talk about like the Lions wide receiver situation, the Eagles quarterback situation, just comment.